The National Alliance to End Homelessness is a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization committed to preventing and ending homelessness in the United States. In today's broadcast, I will present homelessness statistics reported on their website, endhomelessness.org. While white people represent 50% of all people experiencing homelessness, most groups of color have higher rates of homelessness than their white counterparts. Within the white group, 11 out of every 10,000 people experience homelessness. For Black people, it's 48 out of every 10,000 people. And for Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islanders, it's 121 out of every 10,000 people. The National Alliance to End Homelessness reports that the racial and ethnic groups with the highest incidences of homelessness have extensive histories of experiencing oppression, including displacements from land and property and exclusions from housing opportunities. Effectively addressing homelessness will likely require invested partners to account for America's history and that history's influence on current culture, policy, and practice. Gender also matters. Men outnumber women and are far more likely to experience homelessness. While they represent lesser numbers, people who identify as transgender, non-binary, and questioning make up noteworthy numbers as well. The National Alliance to End Homelessness writes that on a given night, the homeless services system provides shelter for 630,000 people. Despite these significant efforts, 40% of people experiencing homelessness live unsheltered, which means their primary nighttime residence is a place not suitable for human habitation. For example, a city sidewalk, vehicle, abandoned building, or park. Change can occur with these groups, but it will take a concerted effort. With enough resources and funds allocated to improving this plight, the issue can be resolved. The nation's progress on veteran homelessness is an example of success. Between 2010 and 2020, homelessness in veterans was decreased by a whopping 50%. New York Times journalist German Lopez wrote an article entitled "Homeless in America" on July 15, 2022. His article is almost a year old, but I think that the issues he discussed are still present today and not much progress has been made. His article is a source for this content. Rent has increased at its fastest rate since 1986, making houses and apartments more expensive than ever. Many find themselves existing in uninhabitable spaces simply because they have nowhere else to go. As you can imagine, street life leaves people exposed to varying weather conditions, crime, and violence. It's obviously not a lifestyle that creates stability, comfort, or order. It's extremely difficult to maintain a job under such stressful living conditions. And what about finding another one without a mailing address or access to the internet? Consequently, those suffering from homelessness get stuck in a cycle that's nearly impossible to end without a solid support system. Experts say that the origins of the current homelessness crisis go back decades to policies that stopped the U.S. from building enough housing. The National Low-Income Housing Coalition reports that 7 million extremely low-income renters cannot get affordable homes. No doubt, factors such as poverty, mental illness, drug and alcohol addiction contribute to people's homelessness. But overall, access to affordable housing is the most significant factor. America currently has a supply and demand issue. What's available is not affordable for the average American. Those who wish to buy are too often priced out. To make matters worse, policymakers institute laws and zoning rules that limit the number of available homes. Too often, plots are reserved for single family only instead of multi-family options, such as apartment buildings and duplexes, which could house more singles or families. Policymakers are not alone in creating obstacles. Homeowners protest proposed housing. Essentially, they don't want to reside next to low-income families. They believe such families will reduce the value of the living experience they've become accustomed to. The fabric of their community will change. The value of their homes will drop. So, if you're watching this and wondering what you can do to help, the National Coalition for the Homeless suggests that you can end homelessness by simply caring. Contribute to food drives, money, etc. Advocate. Get connected to a coalition and follow local politics. Reach out. Volunteer at a local shelter. Educate. Learn about the root causes of homelessness and teach others.